Sonic the Hedgehog versus Shadow the Hedgehog is no longer close, and here's why. These two have been rivals throughout the years, but in the year 2025, one of them reigns supreme. Before we get started, if you're new here, consider subscribing to the YouTube channel, and if you're on TikTok, consider dropping me a follow. Shadow during Shadow Generations was implied to be the most powerful version of himself of all time, which would obviously upscale Doom Shadow above 06 Super Shadow, the same guy who helped bring down Solaris. More importantly, however, Shadow with the Doom Wings was able to bring down the most powerful version of Devil Doom. However, Devil Doom's best scaling is being somewhat comparable to the Time Eater, since it's implied that he was partially responsible for the time-space anomaly in the game. Meaning that, at best, if you want to wank Doomwing Shadow, would be comparable to Generation Super Sonic in terms of stats. Which obviously isn't going to end very well for Shadow, since Sonic has got significantly more powerful since then. And if we're using Shadow in his most powerful state as confirmed in the games, it's only fair we do the same for Sonic. Even if we're being absurdly conservative, Frontier's Super Sonic would obviously be massively above Generation Super Sonic, but he was also capable of bringing down all three Titans, machines that were built to combat the End, which should be the most powerful villain in the Sonic verse. With the director of Sonic Frontiers stating that the first boss in Frontiers is as strong as the final bosses in previous games, suggesting that Frontier's Super Sonic would bully the Time Eater, a character who is presumably as powerful, if not slightly more powerful than Doomwing Shadow, meaning that Super Sonic by himself in Frontiers would already be more than a match for Shadow. But then we have his two other transformations, Super Sonic 2 and Cyber Super Sonic. Whereas Super Sonic was only able to contend and eventually overwhelm Supreme, Super Sonic 2 was able to overwhelm Supreme, who was amped by the End. With Cyber Super Sonic, who should represent Sonic at his most powerful state, being able to one-shot this amped version of Supreme before one-shotting the End in the same attack. Meaning that when the dust has settled, when you take both hedgehogs at their most powerful states in the games, Sonic would casually one-shot Shadow. So yeah, my money is on Sonic the Hedgehog.